So I know we have people that listen to this program from, well, literally all over the world, usually somewhere between 35 and 45 countries, something like that. People gather in this shared intention. I sometimes think of it as like the intention or the value of the heart, of that thing deep inside of us. Well, the thing that got you to turn on the broadcast, that silent aspect of being, it's so easy to undervalue, to notice, to give attention to. Maybe one of the more important things about, well, I was going to say about our spiritual life, but it's really about life itself, life in general, is if you really look at your life, you'll often see that the things that you give time and attention to are often the things that grow or flourish in your life. That can be, depending on what we give our time and attention to, that can be something that's very positive, that can be something that's very negative, depending on how we're oriented in life, what we give our time and attention to. So I suppose when we come together for a broadcast like this, it's a kind of unspoken declaration, you could say, for this hour and a half, that for whatever reason, for you and for me as well, that for whatever reason we deemed that to be in this moment now and to be looking into our true nature was more important, this moment, than anything else. Because if something else was more important, we'd be doing that. And so in a certain sense, just us being here now, for instance, is a kind of statement of what we value, what we find important enough to give our time and attention to. And, you know, in life, if we want to see what any of us value, not necessarily what we say we value or even think we value or want to value, but what we actually value is often displayed by what we give our time and attention to. Now, of course, you have to give time and attention to all sorts of mundane or very important aspects of life, right? But here we are. Like I said, any of us could be doing anything in this moment, and yet here we are. So something deemed that this was of sufficient enough value that both you and I give our time and attention to it, right? And so this is a really important, really valuable thing to understand, how powerful our attention is, where we put our attention, where we rest our attention. In a certain sense, where we rest our attention at any moment is to a great extent telling us what we're valuing in that moment. And that's a good thing to know, not so that you can judge yourself when you see yourself putting your attention on something that's maybe unimportant or trivial or whatever. It's not for the purpose of a sort of self-criticism, but actually as something more empowering, to realize that when we put our attention on something, we're literally kind of empowering it. So, say for instance, if we put attention on whatever our internal narrative is at this moment, that sort of often endless voice inside the head, we could do that. Or we could value something different than that. maybe recognizing that all of our narratives happen within a kind of space of being, a kind of aware presence, you might say. So even though I sit here and talk to you, at least to me, the value in, say, this moment isn't so much in what I'm saying. It's in what we are valuing together. Maybe valuing something that's underneath words, all around the words. Maybe even something that can function through the language. Because there is this sort of fundamental, or think of it as sort of this irreducible quality of being. What does that mean? It sort of can sound complex, but it's actually really simple. Just the irreducible quality of being, that immediate sense and feel of existing. Or just being.